If you could go to school to be anything you wanted to be, I mean anything, from donut maker to pilot to whatever, and when you finished the schooling, you were guaranteed the job, what school would you go to? Join us next as we talk about this on Man Talk. All right, Craig. So this is kind of an interesting article. Maybe you saw it in the Free Press.
Yeah.
On hunters attend Midland Santa School to learn rigors of job and how to answer really hard questions. And so we'll probably...
There's 300 people from 15 states, 3 countries.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, this is a big deal. And I don't know if we have the ability to share this on Man Talk. We'll see, get some pictures, or if we have to give them. I think we can do that if we just say courtesy of the Free Press.
Yeah.
We'll show some pictures of these people who are there. 300 of them all trying to dress up as Santa Claus, and
they're not just dressing up; they're actually being trained on how to be the most effective.
Right.
Santa
so that
Claus,
when they go
Santa or Mrs. Claus.
Yeah. See, I don't even know where they do that anymore. It used to be the mall, right? Or Sears or J.C. Penney.
Right, exactly.
I don't even know where you go to do that, but people would go and sit on his lap.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty hardcore, some of the stuff they're learning.
It is. And, they go there specific. They paid, I forget how much they paid. It was a lot of money to come
really?
To know how to laugh, know how to smile.
So give me your Santa laugh. You got a good one?
Oh,
wow. That last one. And he ended kind of hard there. Like,
how about you? Yeah, I sound like I'm in pain. How about you?
Man, I don't know if I can do it. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, see, my third one, I got to work on that third ho.
See, if we went to the school, we'd come out of there in perfect
Of
condition.
course, which, any kid reading this article is going to be like, wait a minute, what's up with 300 Santa Claus? They thought there was
they're just as representatives, right?
Right, of course. Yeah, right. So, anyway, I was just processing this whole concept of that, and how... Like, imagine if you went, right, and you I think you probably see where I'm going here, but imagine I show up and you're the Santa Claus trainer, and I show up and you're like, okay, you're gonna need to grow a beard, and I'm like, whoa, I don't think that's required. How do we know Santa Claus is wearing a beard, or that I was supposed to wear red and white, or how I'm supposed to laugh? And I'm like, look, man, don't be a legalist. I'm here. You should be happy that I'm here and be glad that you don't want me to leave, do you?
Yeah, right. And they probably would say, yeah, go ahead and hit the highway.
Yeah, but what I find...
No refunds.
No, exactly. Well, what I find so interesting about church, and when you ask someone to become a Christian, or if there's that invitation, because as Christians you're witnessing to people, and when you find out about it, sometimes I find, by the way, I don't find this as much from people who don't claim Christianity or a certain faith, but what I do see from people that often claim faith, when you call them to some sort of action that would be more like Christ, right? Then they start playing the legalism card, and hey, get off my case,
Right, and it's not really and I can see that maybe if it's the church thing, but Jesus is pretty clear. I mean, it's his command is that people reject, right?
Right, and
it's not just the church. And a lot of people throw the church under the bus, but the church is doing the best that they can to follow Christ's direction and his commands. I mean, to take up your cross and follow me is. Or to sell, like you said to the rich young ruler, sell all that you have and then follow me. Then you'll know what the kingdom of heaven is like. Because it's not like you and I coming up with these rules to say, hey, this is what you do to go to church.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Jesus, exactly. And so going back to the Santa thing, like, hey, man, I'm just here to get paid and to get people to take their pictures with me. I ain't looking on delivering gifts. I mean, I ain't working all night. I'm not managing all these elves.
I have a family to take care of.
Use that story. Like, I'm not doing all that work, but I mean, I'll do the photo op and I'll be famous and, get the free lunches or whatever. No, I mean, nobody, there are certain, I think, people in this world, and to be honest, there have been probably times in my life where I'm guilty of this too, where, hey man, if it's good times, I'm all in. But if you're asking me to do something that's hard, or if you're asking me to take a road that is less traveled, then I don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly right. While you were talking, I was thinking about, if you're complaining about the ho, I thought you came here. Your ho is not quite up to par.
Yeah. If you analyze my ho, and you're like, man, you're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah, and would you take offense to that if you went to the school and paid them to make you be the best that you can be, and someone cuts you down?
Well, say, hey, prideful,
you tailed off on your hoe on the third one. You need to be stronger with it. Quit picking on me.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy didn't sound real good either.
Yeah.
Well, we're probably going to talk to him as well, but get over yourself.
It's exactly right.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Such a good point.
I agree. And there's absolutely nothing super Hollywoodish about when Jesus says, pick up your cross. It's not like, hey, look at my cross around my neck or on my T-shirt or around in my bathroom. This is like, no, this is an implement of torture and shame and being a public outcast. What I'm saying is, I need you to become the utmost servant unto death.
Yeah.
If you want to be like me. And as a result of those types of things, what I can do through you is I can save the world.
Yeah.
But you're not going to, it's not always going to be, butterflies and roses.
And what I like about that, and kind of goes with our training motif here today, is he says, hey, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me.
Yeah.
Well, like what you had said, they follow him into the valley of shadow of death. They follow him into dark corners where he still promises to deliver us. And so, that he's training us to follow him, and it's not just all rosy cheeks and bowl full of jelly. Right?
Yeah, definitely not the bowl full of jelly. But even that, like, I think for the typical man, like if you said, hey, will you die for your family or whatever? Of course I would. I'd take a bullet. Okay, well, how about this? Would you not be popular and would you be ripped on from 9 to 5 at your job for me? Or would you miss out on things that maybe from the human standpoint you really want to do because you choose me more? See, that's the harder part. The picking up the cross and following is radically different than get up on the cross and die right away. Yeah. And so that daily surrender for him, that sacrifice is where it's at. And where I'm at is, if Santa Claus wannabes can go and pay money to be the greatest Santa ever, Christians for free are being called and said, hey, let's act like Jesus so that we can win the world way better than the next, Tonka toy that came out, or Tickle Me Whoever. So anyway, this is a challenge. Yeah. Okay. The challenge this week is, quite simply to stand up for Christ and don't be a, can I say wuss? Don't be a wuss. Like if somebody calls you out and says, hey, there's a better way, and this is probably the number one person for me that calls me out. She calls me out on a daily basis because she loves me, is my wife. If your wife calls you out for something that isn't up to par and it's not as good as you can be, instead of yelling at her and be all upset, take it for what it's worth. If she's right, cool. Yeah. If God is calling you under conviction, respond to it, and then see where he takes you as a result of that.
Right. And the idea is in James 4:7, when something comes to it, when we're convicted of something to change, we submit that to him. Yeah. He gives us the ability to resist the devil and to put aside that whole the bad stuff that we might have been doing.
100%.
Right. Attitudes as well.
Yeah.
Right? He submitting to God changes our attitudes.
Yeah. So more on the line than just, ho 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 today, but actually living for Jesus. And we pray that you would do that. So, hey, that's Man Talk.
Yeah, and we believe in 3 things. Mm-hmm. One is that we need to love God.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Love everybody.
Love everybody's number 2.
And by the way, we did that this morning.
We tested out the duct tape fixes everything. And it worked kind of, didn't it? We ended up
duct tape fixes everything and a 2x4. That's probably a future Man Talk.
Could be.
So
If duct tape almost fixes everything.
Oh, no. Can we end on almost?
No, we can't. Duct tape does fix everything because duct tape was involved. It just needed.
Exactly. It
needed
led
some help.
to the solution. So with confidence, we say duct tape
Yeah.
fixes everything.
It
Have a
does.
good one.
See ya.